Here to talk more about it this morning and add some additional perspective, I want to bring in Matthew Bergman. He is the founder of the Social Media Victims Law Center, and he is also representing the family of Chase Nasca in a lawsuit against TikTok's parent company, Bytedance Incorporated. His family claims the 16-year-old took his own life after watching hours of disturbing videos on TikTok. Matthew, thank you for being with us this morning. You have a larger stake in this, obviously. Chase's family does, undoubtedly. After the testimony that we heard yesterday, did it become any more clear who is calling the shots, who is in charge of TikTok? Is it TikTok? Is it Bytedance, the parent company? Is it the CCP?
Well, there can be no question that Bytedance is calling the shot. Mr. Chu actually admitted that on his LARC profile, his supervisor is listed as the CEO of Bytedance Limited in China. Where I come from, if you list someone as your boss, they're in charge. And so I think at the conclusion of the hearing, there was no question that Bytedance was calling the shots. I think on a bipartisan basis, the legislators also elicited evidence that Bytedance, under Chinese law, the employees were responsible for and had to cooperate with Chinese intelligence.
This was this was a grilling by lawmakers. Do you think it accomplished anything? Did you learn anything new you didn't know before yesterday?
I learned a great deal. First of all, I learned that they take no accountability whatsoever for the carnage that they are inflicting upon our kids. Their algorithms have led to the deaths of hundreds of children, including the death of Chase Nasca, whose parents sat through the entire hearing yesterday. There was no ounce of remorse, no ounce of responsibility, and not a smithen of accountability. So this reinforced in us the realization that TikTok needs to be held legally accountable for what their dangerous algorithms are doing to our kids.
One lawmaker described TikTok as a weapon. How are they more dangerous in your view than other social media apps that are out there?
Well, I don't know if they are more dangerous. Every social media app has particular characteristics that are unique to it that render it dangerous. In TikTok, in particular, it's the U2 functionality. It's the For You functionality, where kids are given material, sent material that they don't ask for. And in the case of Chase Nasca, it was thousands of videos urging him to kill himself, and specifically doing so by stepping in front of a train, which he did on February 18th, 2022. And this is a functionality that is not based on what kids want to see. They show kids stuff that they can't look away from, simply to maintain user engagement and to enhance their profitability. I thought it was very telling that Mr. Chu would not even tell Congress how many billions of dollars they're making from our kids. I think a company that fails to assume such responsibility and accountability needs firmer regulation by Congress and active litigation in the courts of law.
Well, then I'm sure it further concerned you that they got no commitment when it came to some of the responsibilities they want TikTok to take on in terms of regulating content, selling data, prohibiting targeted marketing to people under 17, which would be in Chase's case, consent to collect sensitive data, GPS locations, health information. I guess the larger question here, how do you put the genie back in the bottle in the case of TikTok and other social media apps?
Well, the saddest thing about this tragedy is it never had to happen. Look, social media is here to stay. Good or bad or indifferent, it's not going to go away. But there are modifications you can make to these platforms that would make them 80% safer. That could be implemented in a matter of weeks. The only reason that's not being done by TikTok, by Meta, by Snapchat, or the other platforms is simply that they do not want to do anything that will reduce the amount of time that our young people are spending on screen. But you could make it so much safer for simple, off-the-shelf technologies that other platforms use. They're just not doing it because they're more concerned about their profits than the safety of our kids.
And no one will deny the impact that these social media apps have on our youth's mental health. But then the question also has to be raised about willingness to be on the apps, parental controls within each household, people's own decision to use so. Can you put all of the blame on social media creators, on these big companies?
No, I think that there's shared responsibility. I think parents have a responsibility.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.